गोपीजन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदानन्दन व्रजजनरञ्जना जामुनतीरावनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी जय राधा माधव जय राधा माधव जय राधा जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय श्रील प्रभुपाद कृष्ण कृपा श्रीमती प्रभुपाद की श्री नवदेव मायापुर धाम की श्री श्री राधा माधव प्रधान श्री भक्त वृंद नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि श्री गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे वकम करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयति गिरिपातं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, chapter 20th, text number 35. This chapter is entitled as Conversation between Maitreya and Vidura. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Devim Saraswati Tato Jayamudiraet. या वा kācit tvam abale diṣṭyā sandarśanaṁ tava utsunoṣi īkṣamāṇānāṁ kanduka-krīḍayā kanduka-krīḍayā manaḥ yava kācit tvam abale diṣṭyā sandarśanam tava utsunoṣīkṣamāṇānāṁ kanduka-krīḍayā manaḥ yava kācit tvam abale diṣṭyā sandarśanam tava utsunoṣīkṣamāṇānāṁ kanduka-krīḍayā manaḥ. Abale diṣṭyā sandarśanam tava utsunoṣīkṣamāṇānāṁ yava kācit tvam abale diṣṭyā sandarśanam tava utsunoṣīkṣamāṇānāṁ kanduka-krīḍayā manaḥ. Any Matajis? Okay. Ya, whosoever, va or kācit anyone, tvam you, abale O beautiful girl, diṣṭyā by fortune, sandarśanam seeing, tava of you, utsunoṣi you agitate, īkṣamāṇānām of the onlookers, kanduka with a ball, krīḍayā by play, manaḥ the mind. Translation and purport given by His Divine Grace Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Whosoever you may be, O beautiful girl, we are fortunate in being able to see you. While playing with a ball, you have agitated the minds of all onlookers. Purport: demons arrange many kinds of performances to see the glaring beauty of a beautiful woman. Here it is stated that they saw the girl playing with the ball. Sometimes the demoniac arrange for so-called sports like tennis with the opposite sex. The purpose of such sporting is to see the bodily construction of the beautiful girl and enjoy a subtle sex mentality. This demoniac sex mentality of material enjoyment is sometimes encouraged by so-called yogīs who encourage the public to enjoy sex life in different varieties and at the same time advertise that if one meditates on a certain manufactured mantra, one can become God within 6 months. The public wants to be cheated, and Kṛṣṇa therefore creates such cheaters to misrepresent and delude. These so-called yogis are actually enjoyers of the world, garbed as yogis. Bhagavad-gītā, however, recommends that if one wants to enjoy life, then it cannot be with these gross senses. A patient is advised by the experienced physician to refrain from ordinary enjoyment while in the diseased condition. A diseased person cannot enjoy anything. He has to restrain his enjoyment in order to get rid of the disease. Similarly, our material condition is a diseased condition. If one wants to enjoy real sense enjoyment, then one must get free of the entanglement of material existence. In spiritual life, we can enjoy senses. In spiritual life, we can enjoy sense enjoyment, which has no end. The difference between material and spiritual enjoyment is that material enjoyment is limited, but even if a man engages in material sex enjoyment, he cannot enjoy it for long. But when the sex enjoyment is given up, then one can enter spiritual life, which is unending. In the Bhagavatam 5.5.1, it is stated that brahma-saukhya, spiritual happiness, is ananta, unending. Foolish creatures are enamored by the beauty of matter and think that the enjoyment it offers is real, but actually that is not real enjoyment. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hukam karati vācālam pungum langhayati girim yat kripatamaham vande Shri Guru-dinatayam paramananda madhavam Shri Chaitanya So, Srila Prabhupada, as usual, always very realistic, and he always gives the graphic example to show us the real face of the material world. Srila Prabhupada has given the example of this games and sports in the outside world. So the demoniac people, they like to see, as it is mentioned, the physical beauty of the female or the opposite gender. Therefore, they will always advertise how this material world can offer you so many varieties of sense enjoyment, even though these are actually false in reality, in terms of a spiritual reality. But at the level of material reality, it might seem very appealing, and it gives titillation that you are going to get some happiness. But it is all, it's like a big balloon, and one small prick can deflate it immediately. So, especially the demoniac are actually the people with demoniac mentality. They are so expert in presenting it in a way that you will always feel that no, this is real. In the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam also you see that how the material world is actually, it appears to be real, but even though it is not real. So therefore there are so many advertisement companies. These people are always preparing new advertisements to glamorize the so-called external beauty of the material world, which is basically represented by the female beauty. So even the games like tennis, cricket and football and all these things, especially if Srila Prabhupada has spoken about tennis, the purpose of these games, when they arrange it, is in the superficial level, in the gross level, it is to promote sporting and gaming. But they actually want to see the female beauty. you will see there will be big screens in all the stadiums. They will keep it, big monitor, and they will voluntarily, intentionally, specially focus on the various parts of the female body to show that, see, this is an object of enjoyment for you. So this is not actually, the purpose of game is not actually to make them healthy, physically healthy, like fit. This is what they say, if you engage in sports, then your health will remain fit. But behind the curtain they have another agenda, which the demoniac people will not accept, will not admit, but actually that is their propaganda. Like in this Indian Premier League, they'll have cheerleaders, and so many film stars will come, heroines, and the cameraman will specifically focus on them. So less focus on games, more focus on the audience. So this is happening in a subtle level. People, they don't understand how it is actually distracting the mind. First of all, the game, sports, material, this frivolous sports itself is very much distracting from Krishna consciousness. And moreover, when they advertise, when they invite the female to come and join into it, it is becoming more and more, making them more and more like a product in the market. So this is, in a subtle level, is a big distraction of the mind. So the provocation of material sense enjoyment is so dangerous that in the beginning you may not understand what is this happening. Slowly the mind will be agitated, and finally it will try to first thinking, then feeling, and then willing. They want to enjoy it, but we can see in the material world what is the result. The outcome is always miserable. We think that this sensual enjoyment, this sex enjoyment, is a promise for a pleasure land, but ultimately it ends up with a miserable land. You don't find anything substantial in it. So Srila Prabhupada has very expertly brought out this topic, that how this material enjoyment, the attraction, the greed for material enjoyment actually deprives you from the unlimited spiritual happiness. Like we see in Srimad Bhagavatam, when Rishabdev is instructing his sons, Srila Prabhupada also mentioned there about that 5.5.5, the beginning of Rishabdev's instruction. There he says that this deha, this current body, human body, nayam deho, na ayam means this, na ayam deho, this body, deho bhajam riloke, especially when we get human form. There are so many forms in the material world, but especially the human form is not for this kind of enjoyment. What kind of enjoyment? Vid bhujam. Even the stool eater hawk can also enjoy that. This is a big slap, a heavy slap on the materialistic people who always advertise the sex enjoyment. Srila Prabhupada, Rishabdev has given a big slap. It's a vid bhujam. Even the pig, the hawk can enjoy it. Nayam deho bhajam riloke. Vid bhujam, yea. This can also be obtained in the hog's life, in dog's life. Rather, tapo dibbam putraka. my dear children, please try to practice divya tapasya. Divya tapasya. By that divya tapasya, yeno shuddhed, you will become shuddha, purified. And once you are purified, then you can relish brahma-saukhya to anantam. Unlimited brahma-sukh. Brahma-sukh means spiritual happiness. This brahma-sukh is not impersonalist Brahma, but Kṛṣṇa, the pleasure of Kṛṣṇa consciousness. So this is very, very promising and practical. The more, to the degree we identify ourselves with the body, to that extent we actually deprive ourselves from getting spiritual bliss. Because the body and the soul, material enjoyment is on the level of body, but spiritual happiness is on the spiritual level. So enjoyment which can be obtained in the physical level will definitely deter the opportunity to get spiritual happiness, because this goes ill together. It is not matching. So therefore the devotees are always suggested, someone who is intelligent is advised to remain unattached from this material enjoyment. The more we are detached from material sense enjoyment, the bigger is the opportunity for us, the higher is the opportunity for us to relish spiritual happiness. In Srimad Bhagavad-gītā, Kṛṣṇa, when he is speaking to Arjuna in the 5th chapter, he says, Vāhya sparsheshu asaktātma vindati yat sukham atmani. When someone is detached, Vāhya sparsheshu asaktātma, he is asakta. Asakta, there is asakta. Asakta is attached and asakta is detached. So, Vāhya sparsheshu asaktātma, the one who is asakta, the one who is detached from bahya sparsha. Bahya sparsha means external contact. So external contact with what? The material world. So one who is detached from the external contact of this material world, vindati atmani sukham. Vindati means he relish, he rejoices. Atmani sukham. The self happiness within the self, within the Atma he can relish. He becomes Atmaram, in another words. So vindati atmani sukham. There is sukha. Sukha is not it's not a false promise. Sukha is there, but there is material sukha, there is spiritual sukha, which is actually called ananda, the spiritual sukha. So the spiritual sukha can be relished by someone who has first met this criteria, detached from the external happiness, from the external contact. So when one is externally detached from the external happiness, from the material world, then he gradually goes to Atmani Sukham, internal happiness. Asaktātma vindati Atmani Sukham. He then gets the spiritual happiness. And then he saw Brahma-sukham, he gets Brahma-sukh. He can relish the unlimited spiritual happiness. And that Brahma-sukham is, its character is anantam, to anantam, it is unlimited. And the material happiness is limited. It's limited, it's futile. Sometimes you try for it, but you don't get it. It is why the intelligent person does not get attached to the material happiness. Kṛṣṇa speaks in the next verse, when he says, very famous verse, Yehi sangsparshaja bhoga dukkha yonaya. This material enjoyment is dukkha yonaya. Yoni means womb. So, what does it mean? Whenever we try to get material happiness, then this material happiness is impregnated with dukkha. Just like a mother is, when she is pregnant, she has a fetus. So what is that fetus of material happiness? Dukkha. You will definitely get dukkha. In due course of time, it will deliver a dukkha baby. You will only get dukkha. Dukkha yonaya. Yehi sangsparshaja. By coming in contact with the material world. Therefore, the intelligent person, they don't get indulged into it. Why? Adi anta banta. It has actually, this material happiness is like a sandwich. A sandwich which has the upper loaf and the lower loaf, and in between there is some vegetable and all these things. But unfortunately, this sandwich of material happiness has a huge upper loaf, a huge lower loaf. In between there is almost like zero, something, some few moments of happiness. So therefore, it is when we try to endeavor to get material happiness, we bite on it, and the upper loaf is very big, and we expect. And anyway, one time it will be finished, then I will get the taste of the pudding inside or the vegetables inside. But there is very less. And then you bite on the lower loaf, which is again dukkha. So what is that upper loaf? See, when we try to get material happiness, we plan for it. Sometime 1 hour, 5 hours, then 2 days, 10 days, who knows, maybe years after years, we plan for it. We fantasize it, we plan it, that will make it very exciting and relishable. So this upper loaf is the hankering for material happiness, and the lower loaf is lamentation. It's only hankering and lamentation, and in between what we get is so insignificant that it is not worth it to get the material happiness. So therefore, Adi, and also this sandwich can also be explained as the Adi and the Anta. It has a beginning and it has ending. In between, you get like insignificant amount of pleasure. And the problem more with the material enjoyment is that even if we try to get it, and maybe we get it also, what happens? Let's see. When we plan to get material happiness, material enjoyment, especially the sensual pleasures, then you first you plan that you will get it. I want this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things, I want to get it. Okay. But we see that sometimes we get maybe 1 out of 5 aspirations. I desired for 5 objects, I get 1. And sometimes we even don't get anything. So we strive for it, but it is actually unattainable. You can't attain it. Let's say you have attained it. But once you attain it, then you see that, oh, this is not what I wanted. This is not I desired for. Like I have a big expectation, say for a very famous hotel. I'll go there and eat some very delicious items. But once I bite on it, it actually spoils my whole expectation. What I expected, it is nothing like that. So the material happiness is unattainable mostly. Even by chance you get it, somehow or other, you don't find it meeting your expectation. So it is actually, you thought it will be palatable, but you end up with some unpalatable things. And even if it is palatable, but can you retain it? And once it will be taken away, snatched away from it. So it is unretainable also. So it is unattainable in the beginning, and in the end it is unretainable, and in between it is unpalatable. So the perfect material sandwich is only pain, pain and pain. Still we go for it, we hanker for it, and then it gives us more and more torment. It torments us like anything. So many times we actually misunderstand the source of torture as the place of shelter. We think that it will give me shelter, but it is actually the dukkha jonaya, source of torture, misery. So now the thing is that who doesn't know this in this room? Every single person knows this. Then what is the problem? Why are we not able to actually materialize it into our personal life? Why cannot we apply it? The problem is in the beginning. The beginning is that bhajya sparsheshu ashaktatma. Whenever there is a chance, any opportunity for coming in contact with the material world, we immediately jump on it. That is the problem. Because you have already opened the gate. Now you cannot restrain yourself. But know one thing for sure, if you can't restrain, it will strain you. So either you restrain or you strain later. Once you open the gate for a thief who came inside the house, and then he is stealing so many things, and then you like, my dear thief, can you please now go away? Enough. He will never hear it, because you have already given him the chance. So the material happiness will come and knock at your door. Sometimes there is a small hole. You see, who is that? Oh, this is material happiness. I am not going to open that door. You may try knocking at the door for your life long. I don't care. But if you open it, okay, one or two can come inside. Oh, finished. Everything is finished. So therefore, the wise person, as Kṛṣṇa says, na teshu ramate buddha. He doesn't even think of that, going into that. Rather, ramante yogina anante satyananda chidatmani. Satyananda, ananta ananda. Unlimited happiness is there, expecting, is waiting for us. But there is a qualification to get that. We have to become pure. The purer we are, the more chance we have to release that spiritual happiness. So which comes first? Is it stopping the material enjoyment or starting the spiritual relishment? Sometimes we are confused. Should I chant very nice rounds, then I get happiness, and then I stop material enjoyment? Or should I first stop material enjoyment, then I chant very good rounds? Sometimes it is a problem. We are confused which to do. Actually, first of all, is to hear very sincerely. Whenever we are listening from Srimad Bhagavatam or Bhagavad-gītā, it means the words of the Mahatmas, pure devotees, we don't have faith on that. Now you can say that yes, I have faith, I believe. This superficial level of believing is not enough. Faith means you have a strong conviction within your heart that yes, this is truth. It's not only just believe, it's a faith, strong faith. Like Kṛṣṇa bhakti koile sarva karma krita hoy, shraddha shabde vishwas kare sudrira niṣṭyā. So faith is not that I believe, faith is sudrira niṣṭyā. Yes, I am 100% convinced this is. the source of misery if I get into the material happiness. So when we hear properly, therefore Kṛṣṇa says in Bhagavad-gītā also that tat shrinu, 7.1 he says, maya sakta mana partha yoga junjamadas asaṅśayang mahabaho samagram mam gyasasi tat shrinu. First listen. So if we look at this verse in an opposite direction, in a reverse direction, it all starts from shrinu. Now Kṛṣṇa says, now hear very carefully. If you don't listen carefully, then how can you get conviction? The more and more and more and more we listen Kṛṣṇa Katha, the more and more we listen about the pain, the pangs of this material enjoyment, the more we can develop our faith, strong faith in spiritual happiness. So, when the pure devotees they speak from their realization, and therefore Kṛṣṇa walks through their speech. If we accept them faithfully and submissively, we have discussed this in one of our classes also in the past, a faithful and submissive oral reception, then it works. Otherwise just by hearing, from one ear hole it will go, another ear hole it will come out. So faithful and submissive hearing means, I have faith, the next step is I will apply it in my life. I just hear but I don't apply. Then how do I build that conviction? Conviction comes from practice, from application. If there is no application, there is no question of conviction. But we keep on asking this question, how can I get conviction? If you don't apply, then there is no point of asking this question again and again. So when the allurement for material happiness, material enjoyment is there, we should remember that what we have heard, what we have read in the scriptures, then apply it. And once we apply it, then we become purified. This purification process starts. Yeno shuddhet shraddha. So we become purified, and when we become purified, the opportunity, the potentiality to have more conviction increases. A person who is in the mode of ignorance and passion, a very little faith in Kṛṣṇa consciousness, almost nil. But person who is in the mode of goodness, he has better opportunity. So to come into the mode of goodness, platform of mode of goodness, we have to practice, apply it in our own life. And then through the application, then we become qualified. So therefore when the material temptations are coming in our way, we should also have a process of restricting it. Just like when in many countries I have seen that when you are driving for a long time on the highway, so sometimes the drivers may feel asleep. When they feel little bit asleep, then they may, because of their inadvertentness, the car may go little off track. So you will see that there is a very small strips in the side, on the side of the roads, like little bump. Why? Because when you off track, then you touch on that, and you get a little jolt, and with that little jolting, I have to wake up. And you wake up, and then you again. So when the temptations are coming in our way in the spiritual practice, it is not to disappoint us. It is not to distract us. Actually, it is to warn us. Hey, you are going off track. So our temptations are there means, as long as there are spiritual temptations and we fall prey to it, it means that we are not spiritually situated properly. So someone who is spiritually strong, he first of all, he will not fall asleep. Even if he fell asleep, he will get a little jolt and he will become careful and come on track. So temptations are there, but this tolerance is we have to tolerate it. As in the Bhagavad-gītā in the beginning also Kṛṣṇa said that titikṣvasya, and then again the same in the same chapter, this is 5.5.22, then 5.23 Kṛṣṇa says, Shaknati hoiva yat shodhum prakshariro bimokshana. Shodhum means tolerate. You have to tolerate. This is the only weapon to stop the disturbance from the material temptations. You can say Kṛṣṇa. Okay, Kṛṣṇa is there, but if I don't tolerate, what Kṛṣṇa can do? Kṛṣṇa will not come and control my mind. When Arjuna said, please, I am not able to do it, Kṛṣṇa said, you have to do it. I know, I admit, this is a fact, but I can't do it for you. So that, otherwise, why in the beginning of the Bhagavad-gītā Kṛṣṇa said to Arjuna, Titikshasya? It is very interesting to see that Kṛṣṇa said in the beginning that you are like a fool, and then second verse, 12th verse, he said that Kṛṣṇa took Arjuna immediately beyond this material world. He said that Bahuni me vyatita. What is that verse? 2:12. No, you were there, I was also there. We all are ever existing. And then in the third verse, Kṛṣṇa said that this the sober person does not get bewildered with the changes of the body. Dehinashmin yatha dehe kaumaram jovanam jara. Tatha dehantara prapti dhirastatu no muhyati. He doesn't get bewildered in the 13th verse. But in the 14th verse, immediate next verse, Kṛṣṇa said, even if you get this agitation, tolerate. So, previous verse he said they don't get muhyati, they don't become bewildered. Next verse, even if you get bewildered, you tolerate. So, what does it mean? And why is this coming in the beginning of the Bhagavad-gītā? Kṛṣṇa has not yet started to speak the knowledge of Bhagavad-gītā. The reason is that even if I tell you the whole Bhagavad-gītā, the whole knowledge, you will still feel disturbed. So this is the disclaimer. This is the disclaimer point, that yes, there are dualities, and we have to tolerate the duality. So the whole atmosphere of Kṛṣṇa consciousness is there for us. But please do not think that just because we have Kṛṣṇa consciousness environment, our mind will not be distracted. The distraction will always be there. And what is the medicine for that? Tolerate. So this tolerance is this is like the midline. Tolerance is the midline, like from your these temptations, material temptations, so that you don't go up to the level of transgression. From temptations, you don't go to the stage of transgression. So there is in between tolerance. If you tolerate. So as I gave the example of that strips on the road, bumps on the road, it is not to pain us. It is actually to warn us. Hey, dear spiritual seeker, please be careful. You are on the verge of danger. So be careful. Then you hold the brake and you come on track. So therefore the devotees have to practice this. There will be always the big attraction, the huge, and sometimes it seems like it is uncontrollable. To restrict myself to get into the material enjoyment. Like when there is when the notifications, it rings on your phone, tick 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 tick, then there is always a temptation, and then again you put it and ting ting ting, and you put ting ting ting, ting ting ting. So every time we get tempted. You tolerate. What happens by tolerance is very interesting actually. The more you tolerate, the more you become powerful. Therefore Kṛṣṇa said tolerant. You tolerate, because this quality of tolerance will make you stronger in devotional life, and once like in due course of time, you will become properly situated in a spiritual consciousness. You know how they train the tigers in circus? No? The tigers in the beginning, the master, yes, they don't feed. They don't feed the tiger. The tiger, ah! Next time, ah! No. Ah! They will not give. Slowly, slowly, he will, even by roaring and roaring, he will not get anything, any food. He will simply get weaker and weaker and weaker. Then he understands that my master is not going to give me any food unless I hear him. So he is then trained to hear his master. So these temptations of the material desires are like this roaring of this tiger. It may roar, you don't give any care to him. So the mind will say, I want this, I want that, I want this. Every time it will say, okay, let me see this one small 2 minutes movie clip. And then I will stop it, I will not see it. But on the third minute, you will get the temptation of the next clip. Okay, I have seen 2 minutes clip. What is the big deal? I will see another clip. Like that, you keep on watching the clips, and the whole life, whole day is gone by that. So instead of that, one should have that ability to tolerate. Let it roar. I am not going to feed you. And one time your mind becomes weaker and weaker, and then he knows that now I have to hear this, my boss. So if we keep on feeding him, every time mind says, give me this, I feed him. And next time he understands that if I roar huge, big, then he will feed me. So mind will be habituated like that. Instead of that, let it say so many things. This is the technique. This is the technique to become Mahatma. Mahatma does not become overnight. One cannot become Mahatma by overnight. Okay, he is a very wonderful devotee. I also want to become a pure devotee like him. But without no practice, without no austerity, no tapasya, it doesn't happen like that, Prabhu. You have to tolerate, and once when we are expert in that, even if the experts will get agitation, you might be a firefighter for last 30 years, but the fire does not get extinguished just by seeing you because you are a 30 years old firefighter, 30 years experienced firefighter. No. Fire is the same, but a person who is an apprentice in the field of firefighting, he'll immediately get scared. How to fight that fire? He doesn't know where is the hose pipe, how to open it, he doesn't know. But what is the difference between a 30 years experienced firefighter and the new firefighter? He is a seasoned firefighter. So similarly, you have to be spiritually seasoned. You should know how to react, respond. On an advanced and sincere, serious spiritual practitioner, the symptom of a serious spiritual practitioner is that whenever there is a temptation, there is an allurement for material enjoyment, he will simply say, no. No. Can I come back in 5 minutes? No. Tomorrow? No chance. He will simply say no, a big no. But a pseudo practitioner, what will he say? He will first look around. There are devotees now. Better you wait for 10 minutes, I will call you back. This is a pseudo spiritualist. This type of spiritual practitioner will never get success in his spiritual life. Never, because he is cheater. Srila Prabhupada has spoken about the cheaters and cheated in the Purport. So we should not cheat. We say no. That is the only difference. Temptations comes even for the advanced devotees, even for the neophytes. But the neophyte will say, in due course of time, in proper time I will call you. And an advanced devotee will say, just no. No chance, you may keep on waiting, you may keep on roaring, I don't care. And the materialistic is, you will immediately indulge into that. That's the difference. So therefore, why it is important to practice devotional life seriously? When we speak about serious spiritual practice, sometimes we think serious means Hare Krishna, no, it's not a spiritual. It's not like serious. Serious spiritual practice means what is there in your mind, in your heart, and what you are trying is same. You are not cheating. If I am cheating, if I say externally, Krishna, please help me. Krishna, I want to become really a good devotee of you. Then whenever there is temptations, I immediately indulge into it. Then what is the point of prayer? So there should be prayer, but there should also be perseverance from our side. If we simply keep on praying, but we don't put our endeavor, nothing is going to happen. Sometime you will get some feelings. When you stand before the deity, you will get 2 drops of tears. So, oh, how beautiful they are. And then next time I come, so finished. Whatever we got, some little blessings from Kṛṣṇa, we lost it. So we have to invest that. Without losing it, instead of losing it, we have to invest it. I got little blessings from Guru and Kṛṣṇa, the Vaishnavas, let me invest it. And then purity comes. The more and more we become purified in spiritual life, the door for spiritual happiness becomes wider and wider for us. That is the essence of spiritual instructions by our Gurus. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Is there any question or comment, any corrections?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandvat Pranam. Prabhuji, my question is that when we have anartha inside, we can tolerate it maybe if we are alone, but what to do if peer pressure comes? I can give one example. For example, someone has bad health and eating sandwich makes his health worse, but then devotee friends are encouraging, let's go to eat a sandwich. So how to practice tolerance in that case? Sometimes feast also happens in ashram or whatever, but still.
See, there are certain things in life which are beyond our control. This inner, as you said, the inner anarthas can be fought within myself by the spiritual practice. But if there are external pressure, then we have to accept it as it is, because it has come in my way probably by 2 things. 2 possible reasons might be there, 2 potential reasons. One is, it is a test from Kṛṣṇa's side. It is a test, T-E-S-T, test from Kṛṣṇa's side. Or it is our own fate, our karma phal, our own karma. So whatever it is, if I think it is my own karma and it helps me to be patient and tolerant in that situation, we accept it. If we think, now this is Kṛṣṇa's test for me, whether I am progressing or not, Kṛṣṇa wants to check that, we can also accept in that way. But we have to tolerate. In any case, we have to tolerate that. We have a bad health, we can go to the doctor and try to heal. Even though we are trying a lot, despite our all endeavors, my health is not improving, then we accept me as it is my previous karma. And then focus on spiritual practices. Evatma krito vipakam, bunjan evatma krito vipakam, we tolerate it. And if I try to heal and it got healed, then become thankful to Kṛṣṇa and be more and more engaged into Kṛṣṇa consciousness, because by Kṛṣṇa's grace it has happened. So in any case, in any situations, we can always be, if we are not be able to grateful in for all the situations, we can be grateful in all situations. Even if it is giving pain to us, Kṛṣṇa, I am grateful because I could have get more and more punishment from you because of my own past mistakes. But you have given me very less. And then if Kṛṣṇa, or by our good fortune, if I come out of that situation, then also we can be grateful to Krishna. Krishna, thank you. Actually I deserved more, but you have cut it off in between. Thank you. So in that way, how our attitude is growing up in spiritual life is to be noticed. When we are tolerating, tolerance is not like you bite on your teeth and you just tolerate. No. The focus should be on Krishna consciousness. Because of Krishna, because this short period of tolerance will open the door of unlimited period of enjoyment with Krishna, bliss with Krishna. So therefore we tolerate. So we have to have that proper mindset, then it is easy for us to tolerate in any situations. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Prabhu, for elaborating about this material suffering and spiritual suffering. Right. So to understand that spiritual suffering, like it's part of our Krishna conscious life. So sometimes new devotees also, despite they are staying in the tvam, in the holy place, they think that okay, everything is okay, we're in the tvam, no offenses, we're getting full prasad, chanting Hare Krishna, we have time. But in due course of time, we have seen these devotees, when get old age, right? When old age starts suffering or some diseases, they still come back to material suffering. So how do we understand, how do we explain the not beginners or those who are in the line of Krishna conscious? Because problem is there every steps in this material world. How do we transcend this spiritual suffering? This is my question on that.
Actually there is a spiritual suffering, so to speak. Spiritual life is always blissful, but there are sufferings in the spiritual life. When we are practicing spiritual life, there might be suffering come into our way, but that's not; those are not spiritual suffering. So, as I said that the first question, the same thing will come, that we have to accept the fact that there are numerous activities, innumerable activities, wrong activities, misdeeds which I have done in my previous life. So sufferings are awaiting for me. So when we are practicing spiritual life, Krishna minimizes that, decreases that, and gives a little token of suffering. Now in the young age we may not feel that, because it is related to the bodily, the capacity to tolerate in the young age sometimes is more than the old age, generally speaking. So something which is actually hits us in the young age, we can overcome it very soon. But in the young age it might be very much disturbing. Little fever, little insult from people, little harsh talk from people, we may not be able to tolerate it in the old age. But in any case, we have to practice, we have to tolerate it. Abhyasya yoga juktena cetosana onnogamina. And abhyasena tu konteya vairagyena cha. You have to do abhyas, practice, and you have to do practice vairagya. Means getting detached from this. By knowing this philosophically and by applying it in our practical life, we get more strength to do it. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shramvita Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Gaur Premanande, Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kapasana.